Anyways, by the way, did you guys see the how Biden was the life of the party just a couple days ago?
Oh
Put it
my
up there. How he was like but
my.
people he had a line of people trying to talk to him. Let's take a look at this. If you haven't seen this, make that. Okay, there you go. Do you have audio or no? Okay, if you want to put the audio because it's C-SPAN. We're paying for this. Nobody wants to talk to him.
And watch the way Obama ignores him when he puts the hand. Watch this. He knows the president of the United States is touching him right now. He knows it, and just look at that.
He's leaning on him.
Okay, so let's process this. Let's process this from 3 different angles, and I want to get your perspective on this. One, how do our enemies process that? So Putin, how do maybe and Iran, a China, Xi, not necessarily enemy, but they're not our allies, right? What is Barack Obama's motive here? Is he coming in and saying, hello, Vice President Joe Biden, and he says this was part of the skit, we talked about it, undermining him? And number 3, Biden himself, is he sitting there thinking in his own mind with nobody telling him this, not his advisors, not his peers, nobody saying, I think I may be replaced here right after November midterms. Give it to me perspective from those 3 lenses.
I think it frightens our enemies because they look at this video and they say, oh my gosh, he has superpowers. He can be invisible and walk around a room. This is a dangerous guy.
Tom, this is why you could only be a comedian around big universities that have technical minds. But go ahead. What do you think, Dave?
No, I was a PJ O'Rourke fan. So
first, I will address that. But did you guys see the video from about a year or 2 ago? We showed it on my show, I think, yesterday, of Obama saying that what his dream would be to have a 3rd term, but he would just need a dummy out there, and he would just be able to talk to them in their ear, basically. He would just need a body.
He said that 2 years ago?
I'll send you the video later.
Wow.
He said it about a year ago, that would be his true dream. He would love a 3rd term where he was the puppet master. I think we just saw it right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie McCarthy.
By the way, I'm totally cool with that. If Obama is actually running the show and not Biden, I'm just saying I'm cool with that.
Oh, we do have a little work to do with you still.
I know.
Okay, we'll get there.
You'd rather Biden be at the helm? Is that what you're saying?
But Biden obviously isn't in charge. It's not even a question. So in essence, yes, I do think, which gets to your question. Oh, this is it. Yeah.
Is it C-SPAN where you can show it, or what is it? CBS?
I think it might have been 60 minutes.
Okay, keep going.
I think there's another factor to this, but Dave Rubin, go ahead.
Well, first I would say that Biden obviously is not in charge. I think what sort of happened in that moment is that everyone realizes how bad all of this is. We all know inflation, supply chain, Ukraine, Afghanistan, all the stuff, right? We all know how bad it is. We know the polls are terrible, all of that. Everyone also knows that Kamala was polling at 0. Literally 0 in her own party when she dropped out, and then they chose her quite simply because of the color of her skin. This is not,
she was a black female,
and her genitals. Yes. So they know that this thing is so damaged right now that the other part is that Joe Biden has dementia or something like dementia. And that is very sad. I don't mean it to be glib or anything else. I don't think he's going to even make it. Between that and now it's coming out with the Hunter Biden laptop. So I think the system is now figuring out a way to push him out. The fact that Jen Psaki just announced this week that she's leaving to, of course, go to MSNBC. So she's the chief liar, paid liar in America, and now she's going to do it just on a TV channel. I think the system is shifting, and it's realizing, man, Biden, dementia, all the problems, and what Obama did right there was sort of just assert himself. He just pushed himself back in. And obviously, he's not going to get a 3rd term in a traditional sense, but they'll let Kamala take over, and she will probably just have to kiss the Obama ring and do exactly what you're asking for, which I think will lead to an awful lot of bad policies that are just a continuation of what's going on.
Okay, so put a timeline on it. Are the looming midterms the last straw, or is that their flashpoint, or their?
Well, look, the thing is,
their convenient milestone.
You always have to remember the machine does crazy things. So obviously right now, everyone thinks it's going to be the crazy red wave, right? That's what every poll is saying. Everyone's predicting it. You know what? COVID magically comes back in October, and suddenly it's mail-in balloting and ballot harvesting in all the blue states, and then suddenly it's not such a wave, and then they can, who knows? But it's a game. It's a giant Game of Thrones chess game that is many layered beyond just what the Republicans voted 51-48 on this thing. So that's basically
who do they replace him with, though? I mean, so now then it goes to the bench. Okay, so the bench becomes what? Pete Buttigieg? That's the bench.
He's gay. That's good enough.
Who's the
That's
bench?
Good enough.
I think he's a really smart guy. I mean, he's only run a small town in South Bend, Indiana.
Why is he the transportation secretary?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
The same
He's
guy who
gay.
rides a
That's
bike
why.
to work.
Is that why?
Well, yeah, they said he's
Are you
gay.
trying to say that you're going to be the next transportation secretary? Is that
Did
what
you
you're
No,
saying?
but I'm as qualified as Pete Buttigieg. I can tell you that
didn't-
much.
His confirmation hearing was something of a joke.
Yeah.
Well,
Were there vehicles in your town? Yes, there were. Is there a bus service? Yes, there were. I'm done with my list, Senator.
Yeah.
how-
No, that's it.
It was
That's
nothing.
It, literally.
There was nothing to it.
How do you process this? Because you probably let me just say this. I think number one, you're not far off, Dave. I'm
you.
not willing to say that Biden has dementia, but clearly he ain't exactly all that.
Are
right
you?
now.
Is anyone at this table confident that the president of the United States is cognitively able to be the president right now and truly making all of the decisions?
I don't think he's making all decisions. I think it's speculation. What he has, I don't know.
No, the-
He did handle his speech about Ukraine and I thought you even said that he did a decent job with that.
It's the best I've seen him do.
Okay, and that was a month ago.
No,
So it's
every
not
now
like
and
that.
again he can snort Adderall and basically read a teleprompter. I mean, that's basically it.
I like that. But let's play a game. If Pence was the president, right, and he's doing Mike Pence type things, and Trump rolls into the White House, you don't think everyone's just going to be grabbing on Trump and Pence will be kind of walking around like a pencil neck? I think it's a very similar. It's a yearning for something better is really what it is. And Obama shows up and everyone's like, holy shit, this is the guy. Much like I think that's exactly what would happen if Trump left and Pence was the president.
But what do you guys think about the respect level? That moment when he put his hand on his shoulder, it's not like people can just walk up to Barack Obama and touch him.
Yeah.
And Biden's right behind him, clearly talking to him. It's not. He doesn't have no sensors, right? No sensory ability.
Biden knew it was him. Was you're saying?
Obama knew what was
Obama,
happening.
yes.
He went out of his way to ignore him and continue talking. Does that seem crazy to you that he's making some sort of move there?
No, it did. It was clear.
Yeah, so think about it this way. Say we run sales offices. So say I go into one of my sales guys' office, and the guy who runs that office, he's a sales leader. Say I spend 1 hour just undermining him and talking about how special I am. What the hell am I doing? Am I building leaders? So to me, that didn't come across as Biden being a Obama being a kingmaker. That came across as Obama being a king, not a kingmaker.
Right.
He has an opportunity to be known as a kingmaker. Mm-hmm. Now that's a next level type of stuff because now you're in the league of, Reagan, who he helped someone become a kingmaker. Bush Sr. was made through Reagan being the kingmaker. Lincoln, Ulysses S. Grant, 2-term president, kingmaker. And that didn't come across as a kingmaker. You came in to steal the show, and it wasn't about you, Obama. It's about the current president, and it didn't happen. So that was a miss opportunity on his end. And then in regards to how people view it, it doesn't look strong at all. Obama looked like he was semi-condescending a little bit. I got that feeling from him that it
More
was a
than
little bit
semi.
condescending.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Because
Semi?
you're bringing up your sales leaders
Yeah.
in your offices. You travel. It'd be the equivalent. It's like, I'm almost going to make an analogy here. You're Obama. And you roll up to one of your offices in Houston, and they're usually following their sales leader.
Yeah.
Call him Jim. But you roll up. And Jim's the man 364 days a year. But Pat shows up. And everyone in the office starts paying attention to Pat. I've seen what happens when you roll up to the office. There's signs, welcome Pat. There's a little bit of that in that, right?
Yeah, but your job is to build that person up.
Yeah.
Your job is to build that person up. I totally get it. Like, your job is to, like, for example, the Dylan's coach, right? Dylan's coach, Ricky, is teaching him how to do baseball. Every time he's teaching him, I go stand right there, okay? And I'll tell him, I say, hey, so you challenge him, you pushed him a little bit, but you seem uncomfortable. Tell me why. Well, listen, Patrick, sometimes parents, I said, I'm not that parent. Keep pushing them. I want to empower you. He says, you have no idea how important this is. Mm-hmm. Do you know every single time after a game he's talking to Dylan because he's got an insurance policy from me because I empowered him. Now, let me give you the flip side of the coin is sometimes that leader is doing a shitty job, which is here. And sometimes if the leader's doing a shitty job, you come up, you're like, dude, I don't want my reputation to be tied to him because Obama may have 3 other moves that no one knows about on how to replace him in December and November, but no one knows about that. And that narrative's going to change like this. First of all, let me simplify something for you guys. Andrew Cuomo went from winning a flippin' Emmy and writing a book, getting a $5 million advance, and he was ahead of Trump. Every day we'll listen to him, and his press conference he would do. 6 months later, boom, they dropped him, and he's disappeared. When's the last time you saw Andrew Cuomo? What have you heard about? He was a hero. He was going to beat Trump. He would have been so much more presidential. This guy would have been so much more presidential. Do not be surprised if they drop Biden like a bad habit in literally seconds.
It's
boom.
It's happening now.
He disappears and he's gone.
Do you agree with him, Dave?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. People need to understand what politics is, and you just explained what it is. It is Game of Thrones. It is Game of Thrones. They have used Biden. Remember, Obama did not even support Biden throughout most of the primary. Remember that? Everyone kept saying, well, why isn't he supporting his guy? Because he knew it was seriously damaged. Also, don't forget, nobody really wanted Biden. Remember at that moment when Mike Bloomberg ran his fake presidential candidacy for a month and they threw him on stage twice and it was awful, embarrassingly
He paid
awful.
$100 million for that.
$100 million for, and he obviously didn't want to be president, but they all felt, man, Biden is bad. But they needed to figure out who was it going to be. And was it going to be Gay Pete or Elizabeth Warren, who's a socialist, or Crazy Bernie? So they all coalesced around the guy that was sort of loosely holding together the old thing that we kind
I
of
campaigned
remember.
for Bloomberg. I remember that vividly.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, did you just say you campaigned for him?
I went to one of his events
Jeez,
in
man.
Miami. Francis Suarez was there, I want to say. So just so you know.
When we're done with him,
Yeah, you guys got to play basketball.
no, we'll play basketball.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we've completely turned him, I'm
Dave,
taking you.
it's a process, bro.
What's your favorite restaurant? What is the greatest place I could take you just as the
Here,
as the
Florida?
Anywhere. I'll take you literally.
LA would be Rafi's place, but
Yeah.
here
Okay.
it'd be Casa D'Angelo.
Okay, I've never been there.
No, but we need to go to
gotta
Carbone
take you to
in
Casa
Miami. We're going to
D'Angelo, yeah.
Carbone in South
I
Beach.
know I haven't been yet. Everyone's freaking out. You move to Miami, you got to go to Carbone every day. Somebody.
So
call
you
your
saying
to
you're
Carbone.
taking us to Carbone?
I'll take you to Carbone. When we are done with you, signed, sealed,
Deal.
delivered, registered Republican.
But that would be no
There you
fun, Dave. We wouldn't have any conflict.
Or wait a minute. We can one up it. Why don't we take him to Mar-a-Lago?
We can.
If you enjoyed this short clip, click over here to watch another short clip. And if you want to watch the entire episode, the entire podcast, click here.